God, I pray that you take any negative energy that is trying to be sent towards me and send it back to the sender for their highest and greater good, so they can learn that it is not okay to send any negative energy. Plus, I also want to give thanks. Thanks for seeing another day. Thanks for keeping a smile on my face. I am truly grateful that you are giving me this opportunity to move forward and continue on in life. Amen, Ashe. All right, all right, all right. What's poppin'? What's poppin'? So your girl can rant, communicate, conversate, whatever you like to call it. And today we are here to talk about um my life for a little bit. Um, for some of you, if y'all know, your girl has not been posting recently. If you are not on my Facebook or Instagram or Thread, then you probably don't know this, but um, on January 2nd of this month, my grandma passed away, okay? Um, so I've been trying to maneuver things. We literally just cremated her the 20th of January. So I think I am recording, or should I say, this live is happening on the 24th, the 23rd. I cannot tell you. It's like 2 something in the morning right now. But what I came on here to tell you guys is like how my life has been going. So, yeah, my grandmother has passed away. It's kind of crazy to say these things, you know. You experience this stuff outside of outside of your life. You see people die every single day and all this jazz, but when it gets close to you, it feels totally different. Okay, um, I don't know if I should tell you the full story of what happened, but I guess I can give you guys a little information on what happened because that's what I'm here to talk about. Um, December 27th, um, late at night, early in the morning, however you want to say it, it was like 1 something or 2 something. My mom gets a call that her mother's heart stopped. My grandmother's heart stopped. Um, she was at home with my 3 cousins. The oldest, I think she's 16, 17. I'm not good with their ages, but the youngest, if I remember correctly, is 10, 11, 10. But they were there with her, and the youngest was the one that found her. The oldest had to do CPR and wait for, you know, wait for the first responders to get there and get everything situated and all that jazz. And my aunt, which was their mother, was not too far away from them. She was actually at a hotel that was pretty close. So she got the call. Her daughters called her. She called everybody else. My mom came in here telling me, like, her heart just stopped. I'm finna go. I'm finna go. And I'm just like, okay, I need you to calm down because I get it. This is a serious situation. Like, but I don't want you to get hurt yourself. Not only that, my brother, and if you guys do not know my brother, he is difficult to be around, okay? But my brother was going with her and he was throwing out negative energy and doing all this shit talking, you know? And I'm just like, okay, we gotta get dressed and go because I don't want nothing to happen to them because my mom's mind's not thinking properly. Then she got my motherfucking brother in her ear, and I'm just like, I'm just trying to make it out, trying to make it out for both of you, trying to make you two be okay, because I don't want to have to deal with, what's already going on top of that, you motherfuckers getting in a car crash, okay? So I don't want that. So I'm just like, okay, come on. And the crazy thing is, and some of you won't believe me, but I knew this was coming. I truly knew this was coming because I had dreams about it. I even told my mom, like, did you talk to your mama today? When I had my dream. Did you talk to your mama today? No, why? Because I had a dream about. Then I proceed to tell the dream. Basically, the dream was me, my cousin, and my brother was at the hospital, and my grandma was in the hospital bed. And the doctor told me she's no longer here. She's gone. She's done. And I literally had to tell my mom, like, I'm sorry that I had to tell you this, but I'm the one that has to tell you this, but she's gone, Mom. She's gone. And remind you guys, this is this is don't mind it. My ring, girl, this a cheap ring. We're gonna put that shit back on there. But remind you, this is a dream. And my mom, she's not at the hospital, so I'm telling her, like, she's gone, Mom. And she's like, what do you mean? Da, da, da. And I don't know why in this dream they had her pushed out into the waiting room or whatever. It was a crazy dream. Either way, I had a dream that she was gone. Even though the doctors told me she was gone, she was still breathing in the dream. So it made no sense. Like, is she gone or is she here? Like, it was crazy. But back to reality. They told us her heart stopped, and we get to her house, and the firefighters or the first responders that stayed back, they're still there, the police and stuff. But the other ones already took her to the hospital, and I'm going in there to check on my cousins and my aunt, seeing what's going on, and my mom goes in there too, and my brother's sitting in the car, and they tell us they're going to the hospital not too far from here, so we go. We get there, and they're talking about she has a pulse. She has a pulse, but she's not really breathing on her own. They had to put tubes in her and stuff for her to breathe and stuff like that. And that we had to wait until they were able to make space for us to come in and, see her and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna hold you. Before this, before we even got to my grandma's house, I had called my sister. I'm like, do you know what's going on? Like, did you get a call? And no, she was like, I don't know what's going on. I got a call, but I didn't understand it. And I told her, like, her heart stopped. And my sister, she's a soft person. So she starts to cry. And I mean, like, full blown ugly tears. And I'm just like, where are your sons? Tell them to come down there to be with her, because if you get it, or should I say, if you understand of you losing somebody, then you understand it is hard. And for those that literally break down right then and there, it's hard to pull yourself up out of there. That's why I was like, where are your sons, so they can be there with you, so they can comfort you. You guys can comfort each other, because she's by herself. And she's hearing something so tragic. So I'm just like, rub your mama back, tell her she'll be okay. I was staying strong, should I say. And Then back to the topic at hand. We make it to my grandma's. They tell us where she's at, so we go to the hospital. We're sitting there waiting for them, and then my aunts come, my sister come. Um, and the crazy thing is, when my oldest aunt came in, when she walked in, it made me flash back to that dream I had, because she walked in the same way she did in my dream. She walked in looking around, trying to figure out where we were, what was going on. And I wave her over, like, we over here, the family. And I'm glad that we got there in time, or should I say we got there when we got there, because there was an open space to where we could stay in that section, just the family, and then the sick people would go over there. Because at the end of the day, this was a hospital, you know what I'm saying? And they had an emergency room. We were in the emergency room. So they're coming in and they trying to figure out what's going on. We don't know what's going on. My sister get here. My sister get here. My aunt get here. My other aunt get here. My other aunt was already here. The youngest, well, one of the youngest. And so we're sitting there. My mom, what really broke me, because I was staying strong the whole time. I'm not gonna hold you. I was staying strong because I knew it was coming. I didn't know when, I didn't know how, but I knew it was coming. I knew this day would come because I was having dreams. God was telling me, be prepared. Not only that, she was in and out of the hospital, so I knew eventually the time will come. But I'm not gonna hold you. I was staying strong. I wasn't even crying. I'm not gonna hold you. But when I see my mom break down, I was like, I was like, I was trying to hold it together, because when I tell you, she was having her moment. And of course, that's her mama, so she's gonna have her moment. But she was having her moment, and I was just like, there rubbing my mama back, like, it's okay, it's okay. And we was trying to calm her down, because my mom, she has breathing problems sometimes, and you can tell in her voice that she was getting too amped up, and she was kind of losing her voice because she was crying, and she was also talking really loud because she wanted to go see her mama. But then she was also talking to her mom, like, you know how you talk to somebody that's out in the open. You talk out in the open even though they're not there. Like, it's like you're sending energy towards them. So that's what my mama was doing, sending energy towards her mother. Like, you didn't even say goodbye. Like, she kept saying it. I was just, oh God. I'm not gonna hold you. I was like, damn. I'm trying to stay strong. I'm trying to stay strong, God. I'm trying to stay strong, Grandma. I'm trying to stay strong. But damn. This hitting a little too hard right now. I'm trying to keep my composure. I'm trying to breathe. I'm trying to focus, because I'm trying to get all the information that I need, because I understand that this is a tough situation, especially for my mom and my aunts, because that's their mother. So I'm just like, and not only that, you gotta stay strong for the kids, because 3 of them were there in that situation, and I understand. I've experienced something similar, not like this, but not like this, to where I literally had to give her CPR. No. There was a moment when I was younger. My grandma's eyeball popped out of her socket. Yes, it's crazy, but it did, and I was the only one there, and I was young. But luckily my uncle literally lived next door. So my grandma walked out of her apartment and went on to the next apartment and knocked on the apartment door. She didn't even remember that I was there. That's the crazy part. Because I was sleeping on the couch in her apartment. So she didn't remember I was there. And then my uncle come in and he like, what's going on? And by the grace of God, I was there because he was freaking out. He didn't know what to do. And I'm just like, call 911. And my little ass, I'm little at this time. I'm a youngin'. I don't even think I was fucking 8, 9. I was a youngin' at this time. So I totally understand what they went through. I totally understand. That shit is scary. That shit is traumatizing. Seeing your grandma go through something to where you gotta call 911 and it's not no simple, oh, she's sick. No, this is life or death situation. Like, if we don't get her to 911, she might not make it. So I totally understood. So I was trying to stay strong for them, and then not only that, my sister's kids, because my sister, she a softie. My baby sister. She not even my baby sister. I call her my baby sister because that's what she act like. She my oldest. She the oldest out of us three. My brother and me. On my mama's side, it's her, my brother, and me. It goes my sister, my brother, then me. I'm the baby in the situation, but I act like the biggest sister because them two don't know how to fucking act. But yeah, uh, it was intense. And this was, like I said, the 27th. And the crazy part was, it was my nephew's birthday that day. And not only that, my mom was literally telling me that my grandma, she knew. She knew it was time for her because she literally said she's not going to make it past Christmas. And the crazy thing is, she made it. Don't get us wrong, she made it past Christmas, but only till the 27th. And after that, she was put into coma, a induced coma, because, like I said, they had a breathing tube down her neck, breathing for her. I'm not gonna hold you, it was insane. I've experienced these things before, because when I was younger, we was always in and out of the hospital when it came to our family, because our family had situations where they had to stay in the hospital, and the family got together and sat there and tried to get the information and all that jazz. So I was used to sitting in the hospital for hours because that's was a part of my childhood. But when it was time for us to go back there, my mom and the youngest of my grandma's kids, well, of her biological kids, because she did adopt, and the adopted one was theirs. My auntie was there, so out of the ones that she gave birth to, the youngest, and my mom is the second oldest, they went first. And I ain't gonna hold you, we thought my mama was not gonna come back out. We thought my mama was gonna stay back there with her mother, but she was being nice, and she literally said, I'm being nice. Cause we all knew she was gonna want to stay back there. The way my mama acted, we all thought it. We all did. But she came out. Then it was, I think, my other two aunts, the oldest, and then the youngest that was adopted. And then the oldest came out. And then my aunt's husband, the one that was back there, went back there with her, but he came right back out because he couldn't handle that. Plus, someone was come to find out, should I say, one of the nurses was talking to my fucking aunt about, did you guys talk about, you know, cutting the cord and shit like that? And my aunt was confused, the youngest of all of them. She, the adopted one, she was adopted, but she was the youngest out of all of them. And she, the second youngest, was back there. So, or the second youngest, she called the second youngest because she was confused. She's like, what, why are you telling me out of all people, you come back there when you come back there and start saying shit like that to me? Like, you ain't just had three other fucking sisters back here. You know what I'm saying? Like, what made you say that to me out of all people? So she was like, yeah, nah, Shalandra, my aunt, I'm the second oldest. I mean, not the oldest. The second youngest, the youngest out of all of them in blood, but the second oldest out of all of them as a whole. So they go back there, and what happened? Yes. During that time, it was now the grandchildren's, because it was only my aunt, her kids, the other aunt, or her husband, my mom, and then my oldest aunt at the time, and my sister and her kids. So it was the grandchildren's turn now, and then I walked back there, and like I said, my sister's a softie, so I'm walking with her, and we get there to the room, and I'm just sitting there like, this is real. this is real. My sister couldn't come in. She couldn't. She stopped at the opening, and she said she can't. She started crying again. She was crying already, but she started crying even more. So she sat there and waited for me. And I went to my grandma. And for those that you do not know, or should I say for those that don't know, me and my grandma was not in the best of terms around this time. Some things happened to where I just kept my distance, but I always loved my grandma. That was my rock. That was my motherfucking dog. Even if we decided to go our separate ways, that was always my dog. But yeah, I seen her, and I prayed over her, of course. You know, prayed that whatever happens, that God keep walking with you, keep taking care of you. And then once we got done with our meeting or our visit, we go back, and I am the designated child walker. So basically, I was the one that brought the kids back. But by the time me and my sister got back, my uncle was there. You know, the one that I was telling you about with the story of when we was at my grandma's crib back in the day, and he was freaking out and yada yada. Yeah, him. He gets in. I'm just like, because I was about to go with my cousin, my youngest, well, one of my younger cousins. But he could. I'm like, of course, a grandchild can wait. You're the son. I was like, come on. I'm like, come on, because, you're the oldest, so let's go. And he was like, no, it's okay, you can go. I'm like, no, you are the son, let's go. Yes. I'm not going to hold you. I was a little firm because we're not going to play this. Come on, let's go see your mama. this might be the last time. Let's go. So I bring him back there. And while we was walking, I'm just like, the last time we had to do some shit like this was when, back in the day, like I said, that time where she had a thing with her eye and her eye popped out, and he was freaking out in his boxers, man. It's crazy. And I'm just like, this reminds me of that time, because I literally walked in with him in the hospital looking for his mama. And who would have thought we would have had to go through something similar? Not as similar, because thank God we didn't have to be there, but like similar as in us walking down this path again to go see his mama, to go see my grandma. And we got in there and they was doing work on her. They was checking her vitals and making sure her blood pressure wasn't going up and she was stable, and we was just sitting there. And when he got done, we walked out. And then I started to take the younger grandchildren, my cousins, my nephews. I started to take them. At first, I'm not gonna hold you, they didn't want the younger ones to go see her like that, but at the same time, they was like, okay, because this is serious, you know what I'm saying? So I walk them all down there, or should I say back there. I watched all of them experience, I guess, a really tough time for them. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm sorry. Because you know it's going to be waterworks. It's going to be. So you might as well get prepared. But I literally watched them all. And the funny thing is, my brother, he didn't even go see her. Which is fine, because you gotta understand, some people can't handle that. Some people just can't. Even though he was talking shit the whole way there, yeah, I didn't go see my grandma, blah, 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 blah. He never went and saw her. But it's cool. But, yeah. And then we sat there and some of us kept going back there to see certain things. They went and go see they went and did a CAT scan for her brain and all that to see if she was, if she had any function in her brain, because, she didn't get oxygen to the brain when her heart stopped. So then me and my aunt went back there, the youngest out of all of them. We went back there and certain things I'm not going to tell you because that's too personal, but we went back there. I didn't like how the hospital was treating her, to be honest with you. And I get it, because they were packed. I get it. But yeah. Anyway, we went back there. They told us that all they can do is make her comfortable, so they have to send her to a different hospital that has more things for her to see what they can do and all that jazz. So we had to figure that out. First, we had to wait for them to open up a bed and stuff like that. And we was at that hospital from 2 something to 7 something, 8 o'clock in the morning, waiting for them to get a bed for her. And eventually they found one. And the funny thing is, they found a bed at the hospital that she never wanted to go to. Abbott. For those that don't know, I live in Minnesota, and there's this hospital called Abbott. Lina Healthcare. Abbott Hospital. And we've had some memories with that hospital. And my grandma did not like that hospital. You know, some people called that a killer hospital because a lot of people died back in the day at that hospital. But that was the hospital, the only hospital that had a bed open. And they brought her. And when they brought her to the hospital, we all disbanded. I went home because I was up for hours on end. I needed some sleep. There was nothing else I could do. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't do anything else besides just sit there and pray and figure out what the fuck to do. You know what I'm saying? But the funny thing is, I can do the same shit at home. So I went home. My brother went home. My sister and her kids went home. My aunts, some of my aunts went home. Well, I think one of them went back to the hotel, you know, so the kids, you know, can get out of the situation because it was a serious situation. It was intense for them. But my mom, I think my cousin, the one that came later, he went to the other hospital where they was taking her. But yeah, that happened, and every other day I went up there to visit her, you know, visit and see how she was doing. They said she was stable, but they had a family meeting with the adults, and of course I was a part of it. It was me, my sister, my aunts. It was only the women that were there. And they told us, this is the truth. If we keep her, you know, hooked up, she's going to have to get a tube in her throat. And then she's going to have to get tubes in her body to help. And we keep her in like this home where there's a nursing home. Like, she's constantly under supervision. And basically constantly getting pumped with medicine, medication, and all that jazz. Or we pull the plug. Or we let her go. And I'm not gonna hold you. We already, should I say, understood that was a possibility. It was sad, you know? It was sad. Having to say goodbye to someone that was a part of your life. That had a huge impact in your life. But I want to say when they told us this, it was the 29th or the 30th. I can't remember, but it was one of those days, and they said they didn't want to pull the plug right away because, right, it was the 30th because New Year's, or was it the 31st? I think it was either the 30th or the 31st because New Year's was literally the next day or the day after, and they didn't want to pull the plug on a holiday. And then my aunt's birthday is on the 5th, the 3rd, so they didn't want her to pull the plug on that day because, they didn't want to remember her, and they knew that my grandma did not want to do that, like be pulled on a holiday or something like that. But they did do the do not resuscitate. So if she did go before the 5th, then she went before the 5th. My mom was up there with her the day that she passed away. Well, before she did, should I say. Well, the night she was up there January 1st with her mama. And my sister, I think, was there too. And one of my grandma's friends. And they left. When it was visiting hours, when it was over, they left. And around 1 something, my aunt called my brother because we didn't have our phones on. We didn't pay the phone bill because everything that was going on. And my mom, she didn't even want her phone on because she didn't want nobody calling her. So it was, she decided to wait a little bit to pay the phone bill, which I was cool with because I wasn't really trying to be, on my phone at this moment in time. I'm trying to ground myself, especially for this big impact that is about to happen in my life. You know what I'm saying? So, January the 2nd at 1:18, they say that she passed away. They said that right after my mom left the hospital, everybody left and everything, she started to decline a little bit. Her blood pressure and all that was starting to fail, and she passed. And my brother, being my brother, your mom died. Fucking bitch. Anyway, I get it, because that's just who he is. You can't even, right, but he comes and tells her. And she's like, what? When? And it was like, at first it was like 1:30 something that they said, but come to find out it was 1:18. So me and my mom go up there to see her, I guess. My mom wanted to say her final goodbyes. I'm not gonna hold you, I was strong. I give myself props for being strong the whole time. But when that night came and I went to that hospital and I see my grandma and all those machines were off and it was just her with those tubes in her and my mom. I don't know. I guess it struck another chord in me. I asked one of the nurses. He was a guy nurse. I was like, "Y'all got some coffee here? I need me some coffee." Because, like I said, it was a late night. I was up late as hell. And now we back here again with this. So he goes and give me coffee, and I'm sitting there drinking the coffee. My mom is, I'm walking back and forth, because my mom is washing her mother up for the last time. I couldn't do that because, that's my grandma. I'm like, I can't do it. Like, because my grandma always tried to not show too much to her family. So I was just like, I can't see her, I can't wash her up or anything because I want to keep it. I don't know how to explain it, but I want to not do that. But excuse me. When the time came and my mom was done washing her up, and my mom was sitting there talking to the nurse, and I just sat down, sat down in a chair right next to her bed, and I turned on my song. I wrote her a song, and I sung it, but I sung it at home, because, yeah, I needed it to hear it, but I was playing it in my headphones, and I was listening to it, and I was looking at her, and yeah, your girl started to cry. And not know, no. I was literally, if I didn't get up and get out of that room, I would have had an asthma attack, a panic attack, whatever you want to call it. I was hyperventilating. The whole time this situation was going, I wasn't crying. I was calm. I was cool. I probably dropped a couple of tears when my mama was crying like that, but I was strong. I got this. My grandma told me, don't cry while I'm gone, cry while I'm here, and that's what I did. I cried while she was here. So I felt like I can do it. I couldn't do it. Like I said, when I sat there, it just started to come. I started to cry, I started to bawl, and I literally had to walk out the room. And as I was walking out the room, I passed my two aunts and one of her sons. And I just walked to this little area. And my mom came like, your grandma always loved you. Tell me all these things. Like I said, me and my grandma was not talking at the time. I have not talked to my grandma in years. But it was a serious moment, because I knew that I would never be able to talk to her again. Like, of course, talk in the sky and all that jazz, but like physically talk to her again. I wouldn't be able to do that. So it took me. I even told her, I forgave you, and I know you should be saying I am sorry. No. She should be forgiving you. No. If all y'all knew the information, you would know. She was the one that was supposed to apologize, but we're not talking about that. Regardless of the situation, I forgave my grandma. I been forgave her. I just never told her that because she never apologized. But that happened, and after a while, you know, when we sat there with her and everything and got all the information and all that jazz, we left. And I guess you could say we started to prepare for the funeral, for truly letting her go, for truly putting her to rest. And I'm not gonna hold you. I learned a lot during that situation. I learned a lot. There's a lot of messages God gave me, which I don't mind. I'm going to tell you guys when the time comes the messages that were given to me, because I know there are people out there that need to hear the messages that I heard. But that happened. We was cool. There was a lot of emotions getting thrown. Hold on, y'all. Not bad. But yeah, there was a lot of emotions getting thrown. I'll tell you about that in another story, another live message, whatever you want to call it, another video. But there was a lot of emotions getting thrown until the day that we let her go. I'm not even gonna hold you. Even my nerves were shot the night before. It was, man, if I tell you what happened, it's crazy, because I had my grandma's, this was the night before the funeral, okay, because I'm not trying to confuse you guys. The night before the funeral, you know, we were running late. People were trying to get food, their dresses. I was trying to finish my hair, because I don't braid my hair, so the fact that I just did this in 2 days, I'm proud of myself, especially going through what the fuck I was going through, and I don't even fucking braid my hair, so I'm just like, yeah, I'm stressing out, my mom's stressing out, my aunts are stressing out, my cousins are stressing out, my sisters are stressing out, we driving, we trying to, all for this one day. But like I was saying, my nerves were shot ever since the beginning. I had my grandma's earrings on. This one. I had these earrings on the night before, the day before, and I lost one of them. And I'm just like, what the fuck? What? The day before, I lose your ring, your earring. What? And I backtrack. I literally backtrack. Go from, because I went to 3, 4 different places. I backtracked. Yes, I did. I backtracked to the places, my steps, where I parked, all that. I still couldn't find it. I'm just like, Grandma, you seen? I looked everywhere for that earring and I couldn't find it. But I was losing a lot of stuff that day because, like I said, my nerves were shot. Come to find out, I still had that ring, that earring. It was on my body. Because I had headphones on and I took them off, and I guess the ring fell out my ear and got caught in my fur coat. So, but by the grace of God, I was able to find it. But yeah, day of, We get there to the funeral. I see her. She doesn't look like herself, of course. It's understandable. She was in a cooler, so she was cold and everything. Now she's out of a cooler for a couple of hours. She's warming down. Her body is changing. It's not the same. It's different. But I could still tell that it was her. I don't know. When you are next to a soulless body, it's kind of strange, kind of weird, especially when you knew this person. You're just like, I can't believe that you're no longer here. I can't believe that God took you away from us. I can't believe it, but I also know that this is life. I also know that even though you lost a life, there was another one being born. And for those that are trying to figure out if this is the one I sneezed in, no, that's this one. That's gross. But yeah, we had the funeral. Um, and after the funeral, we had the repast. And we played games. We looked at the memories, the pictures. Man, I want all those pictures that she has. Or should I say she had? I don't know if any of y'all looked on my Instagram, but I put some of them of me on there. And her. And the family. Man, them were some memories. I am taking it day by day. At the end of the day, it's still difficult. I went through a lot these past couple of weeks. I'm not gonna hold you. I almost lost myself. I'm pretty sure we all did, but we are staying strong. For my grandma, she was a independent black woman, okay? She made independent black women, strong independent black women. And I'm going to stay strong for my grandma. Of course, we all are. Of course, there's going to be days where we cry, because I'm not going to hold you. Literally the other day, I was crying in the bathroom, talking about, please, take me back to the past. But I knew, I knew I was just having a moment. And that's the thing, I gotta understand that there's going to be times where you are reminiscing, and you're going to break down and cry. It is okay to cry. Man, at that funeral, I seen people that cried that I never seen cry before. But yeah. So that's a little bit of what's going on in my life. I'm going to try and start back on some videos. I got a lot of messages, I'm telling you, especially about this type of situation. But I'm okay. My family's doing the best they can. Sorry. Some things, some things from the past coming up, things that we didn't even know about our family are being told, and some of our family members are going through it. Excuse me, but we are still staying strong, doing the best we can to come up out of this situation. We are going to see brighter days. So we just gotta stay strong until then. But like I said, I will try and start posting some more for myself. I've been trying to clean up, organize certain things, declutter, trying to get shit done. Cause during situations like this, you don't even give a fuck about your environment. But now that we back on time, back on topic, back on pace, back in pace. I don't care. I don't know. We're back on the path that we need to be in. We took a little break, but we are back on the path that we are supposed to be in, and we are going to keep trucking. Keep moving, keep going, keep thriving, keep doing the best we can. But yeah, that is about it. I'm sorry that I've been gone for too long or for some time, but you gotta realize I've been going through some shit. So cut me some slack. Okay? Cut me some slack. Your girl is coming, okay? Your hood therapist is coming. I get it. There's a lot of us in this world that needs someone to listen and someone to talk to, so I'm coming. Just hold on. Your therapist need a therapist too, shit. So your therapist need a moment to herself too. So but that's about it, y'all. I'm finna go focus on myself. Watch me something that's relaxing and do me. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, check out my channel, check out my Facebook, check out my thread, check out my Instagram, check out my YouTube, check me out. I am here to give messages for people that are trying to heal and thrive and be a better person every single day. Only if you want to, my love. I'm not here to force you. I am not here to put anything on you. It is up to you to decide whether you want to heal not only the surface level, but your soul, your spirit. Come on. We are on this journey together. As you can tell, I am going through things myself. I'm here to keep it real with you. I am here to help you. I am here to tell you from my experiences. I don't know if you hear that, but that's a plane. We finna take flight, baby. So if you wanna come along, come along. But that's about it, y'all. Y'all have a good one.